Do you ever feel like you just feel so young and fine, feeling numb, can't remember what you did within the last month, like life is just all a blur? Do you feel like you just feel unfulfilled? Nothing really makes you happy, nothing really makes you sad. You just kind of like, I'm just making it through life. If that's you, stick around. This episode is for you. You may be experiencing disassociation. Let's talk about it. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the Keys to Healing. If you are new here, I'm Kiki. If you're not, welcome back. This episode, I want to talk about disassociation. Listen, I think it's the perfect time to talk about this because it's just easy to disassociate these days. I mean, between social media and just taking time and scrolling all day, it's easy for you to just leave your world and not be present. And not even realize it. That's the scary part, is a lot of us don't even realize when we're doing it and that we're doing it, right? And how long we have been doing it. Being present tends to be something that's hard for a lot of us. And I know, especially for moms in today's age, you have to work, you got to be there for the kids, you're keeping up with what's going on online, you're trying to have relationships, friendships. It's just a lot. And it's easy to shut down and don't even realize it because you have gone into survival mode. All right. So let's do a quick dive into what is disassociation, right? So I'm gonna read y'all the actual definition, and then I'm gonna give y'all my take. All right. So disassociation is a mental process that involves a disconnect between thoughts, memories, emotions, and or body. It manifests in various ways, ranging from mild to severe, feeling detached from oneself or your environment, numbness, emotional blunting, memory gaps or confusion, feeling like an observer in your own body or life, like you just watch, like I said earlier, like you're just watching things happen, right? Like you're not there, but you're there, like you're not in it. Altered sense of time, reality, difficulty concentrating, making decisions, changing an identity or your personality. Some of the things that can offset disassociation is trauma, stress, being overwhelmed with life experiences, mental health conditions, anxiety, depression, substance abuse, medical conditions. So that's the gist, okay? Let's get into the good stuff about it. Well, but there's nothing good about it, but let's get into the meat and bones of it, right? So, disassociation, a lot of people feel numb. Like they may be going through, and sometimes you might have a friend, or the friend might be you, okay, friend? You might be going through life and you just feel like you're numb, nothing bothers me. And I hear a lot of people say that a lot. And that's why I wanted to have this episode. When you go through life and you're like, nothing really bothers me, I'm so used to this, nothing really bothers me. It don't matter. I'm used to it. That's numbness, baby. You're numb to your circumstances. You have become unbothered in the wrong way. I know we are living in an unbothered culture. Everybody want to be unbothered, all right? But being unbothered is not being present, because things are actually supposed to bother. You kind of sometimes feel out of it. Maybe you feel like, man, I'm not present enough with my kids. You're doing things and you don't really remember doing them. You might find yourself just driving and you don't even know how you got to the place you are. You're just driving, right? By the grace of God, you got where you were going, but you can't recall anything you saw on your way there. You just always find yourself daydreaming, like they would say back in the day. It's like you're just kind of daydreaming. Everything is just like a fog. You're watching your life happen, but you don't feel like you're living it. That's a sign of disassociation, baby. Disassociation is also a key indicator of you're in survival mode. And we need to recognize it, because the scary thing about disassociation, like I said, you don't know, a lot of the times you don't even realize you're doing it. You don't realize that you're in that place. Unless usually sometimes somebody calls it out, or you reach a point where you're just like, I want to feel something. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I don't feel excitement. I'm just, even when you're doing things, you're doing it just to get it done, just to get through your day. That's not okay. And so anytime it gets to a point where you start to feel unconnected to your own feelings and you have no words and you just are that unbothered by things that you're just, it doesn't bother me, you have now numbed your pain. Your body has gone into a trauma response. Your body has gone into we are so overwhelmed. I have to shut everything that's going on around me down to keep you safe, right? That is unhealthy and scary for multiple reasons. Because if you're raising kids like that, you will look up and not know where the past 5 years of their life is went. You will raise kids and not know what their favorite color are, what their favorite things, because and it's not that you don't want to be, it's just that you have gotten so deep down into a mental state to where you just can't fully be present with them. And then you have to go back and relive that trauma, because then you realize once you come to that you've missed a lot out of their lives, right? You missed a lot of living your own life, because dissociation also takes life away from you. And like I said, it's a defense mechanism. Your body starts to protect you by disassociating, because you're so overwhelmed with all these different emotions, with all the trauma that you might be experiencing, all the stress that you might be under, whether it's from your family, your job, the economy, whatever it is, because with the economy right now, everybody is stressed, right? And like I said, in today's time, it is easy for us to disassociate, where we're just strolling online, not paying attention. It's easy for us to click out and just go to another world and not worry about what's actually happening in our own world. Some things that trigger it is anxiety. You might be going through depression. You might be going through a season to where you just feel like you're in a season of turmoil and rain, and you don't understand why, and you're trying your best and you're doing your best, but nothing seems to be working, and you don't know how to look up, right? At this point, life has just got you down. Let's talk about some things that you could do if you are there, or this sounds like a friend that you might know. Please send them this video so that they can watch it and they can get the help, and you can help them through this as well. Because the first step is identifying when you are disassociating from your own life, right? You don't want to be an observer of your life. You want to be a player in it, an active main character in your own life. All right. So let's talk about, before that, because we're going to talk about some techniques and things. But I also really, 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 really want to say this, because a lot of people are under the assumption that when you are facing this association, that you had to have some deep trauma that happens to you, to where your brain and your body and your emotions just shut down, and like it puts you in survival and protect mode. You do not have to experience harsh trauma to go into disassociation. Like I said, you could just be overwhelmed with life. You could just be going through a stressful period in life, to where your kids may be working your last nerve, and they've been working your last nerve for absolutely months, to the point where you don't know what to do, and you have now you've tapped out. You might be in a family with a bunch of drama, and y'all just be up and down, up and down, up and down, and now you have checked out. Like, you are so-called unbothered. And like I said, it's easy to get unbothered. You can block people, you can block them off your phone, social media. We're gonna talk about it, ways that you may actually be helping yourself disassociate without realizing it, and you think disassociation is healing, and it's not. Healing is not disassociation. Healing is dealing with your feelings, dealing with your emotions, dealing with your thoughts, dealing with your pain, dealing with it, and figuring out how to move forward from here. Healing is not disassociation. I want to make that very, very clear. If your only means to find peace in any situation is to disassociate from it, that is a problem, because that is a shutdown technique. You are shutting down. You are not trying to resolve a problem with using your words. You're not trying to take accountability. You're just making things go away, and you're not really dealing with it. So sometimes, like I said, this day and age, it's easy to disassociate because everything has made it way too easy. We can block people off our phone and never have to speak to them again. Don't tell them why we mad. Don't have to see them. Don't have to confront it. And then when we over being upset, we back. They unblocked. We can block them. You can block them on social media. You can mute them on social media, so you ain't got to see none of their stuff. And then when you're not upset no more, you got over your feelings and emotions. They back up. It's too much. It's too easy for us to disassociate, and a lot of us are doing it without even realizing that we're doing it, because we call it healing or we call it protecting our peace, and that is not what that looks like. You need to understand the difference between the two. It's a difference between protecting your peace and you disassociating with something because you're shutting down and you don't really know how to deal with it, right? And practicing that is how it starts to trickle in other areas of our lives, right? So when you are doing that, before you disassociate from people, you want to make sure that you, ask, talk, reach out, try to resolve whatever issue you might have with somebody. It is unfair for you to be walking around here upset, mad at somebody that did you something, hurt your feelings, and you feel some type of way and you're holding it. And then you're so upset by it or bothered by it that you become unbothered and you block. You become unbothered and you just stop talking to them and they just go away. Mm-mm. That's not healing. That's avoidance. That's what that is. You're avoiding your problems, and when you do that, you take accountability away from yourself. Always go back and always remember, your first sign of healing is accountability. It's not about what nobody else did, but what you did in the situation and what you could have done better. That's it. That's all. So we do not want to get into a place of doing that. And I want to make that clear. Those are some ways that you could tell if you are disassociated. I gave y'all feelings and I gave you ways that we are actually helping ourselves dissociate in an unhealthy manner. Okay? Let's refrain from doing that. Now, in certain instances, do some people just have to be blocked? Yes. But if they blocked, you should delete the number. If they're blocked, you should know that this chapter is closing for you. You need to fully work through that. Because a lot of y'all block and then unblock, blocking, unblocking. Now you keep yourself in a cycle of familiarity, of a comfort zone, of being back and forth on an unhealthy emotional roller coaster. And that's helping you disassociate with life because you're unfulfilled and you don't know how to work yourself through your problems. Okay? Avoidance is not healing. Disassociating and blocking people is not protecting your peace. Say it with me. Drop it in the comments if you got this far. Okay? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this post, y'all. While we at it, I just thought I'd drop that in there real quick. So I always forget to do it. But anywho, please know that I need us to understand what that is and what that looks like. If you have a friend doing that, you probably have a conversation, right? Again, some people, especially in this realm of social media, feel like, oh, block season, everybody get blocked, all right? And that ain't always healthy. That ain't always the move, all right? That's avoiding. So I'm going to give y'all some techniques to help you bring it back, become present in your own life so you can be a main character in your own life, right? Not just living life, letting life happen to you, but you are actually living your life and you're in control of it, and the things that are happening, you're fully present. Okay. One thing that you want to do is grounding. This is a sensory exercise. It helps your senses. Um, it helps your senses by making sure that you can feel something, smell something that's around you that brings you back to where you are, right? If you're finding yourself not being able to be fully present, you could try the so grounding is like the smell of the tree. What sounds do you hear around? You might hear birds, or you might hear a plane, or you might look up and you might see clouds in the sky. What does the clouds look like? How does the grass feel beneath your feet? Sometimes take your shoes off and literally touch grass, y'all. Literally touch grass. That is an awesome grounding experience. I do it a lot. I love to like walk outside with no shoes on. I'm from the country. I'm from Louisiana, so I'm used to walking out around with no shoes on, especially like at my house. Um, I just I just like it. I've always grown up like that since I was a little girl. But I know it's some people who always have shoes on. Sometimes take your shoes off and literally touch grass. Put your feet in the grass. Feel the concrete under your feet. Get one with the earth. Okay, that is a for sure way to help you ground, because if you're a person that's not used to it, the grass is gonna feel weird. You're gonna sweat someone crawling on you. The ground might feel cold, or I'm in Texas, so it might feel hot. Okay, it that is a for sure way to ground yourself and bring you back to a present state, right? What smells do you smell around? Somebody might be cooking. Somebody may it might be flowers somewhere around. You might hear bees buzzing, or something flying. Bring yourself back to something that's happening present and focus on what's in your surroundings. You could try the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. 5 things you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things you can touch, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste, right? To bring yourself back. That is something that I recommend people do when you can't just, let's say you're in a place and you can't take your shoes off, right? You can't touch grass like that. You might be driving. What's a restaurant that you passing by that you could taste the food? Like, what do they sell that you could literally feel some tasting, right? Like, what are the things you can see? What are the smells in the air? All of these things are gonna bring you back to your present state, right? It's gonna bring you back, and that's the part we want to practice, being present. And the more you practice this, the more present you will become. Remind yourself where you are. Sometimes we can get so stuck in the past. Maybe you're going through a heartbreak. Maybe you have a lot of childhood trauma. Maybe you're going through a season where you are disconnecting from family members and loved ones, and you remembering all the memories that y'all had, and you're kind of living in the past, thinking about how you could have fixed it, how it could be better. Sometimes you just have to remember where you are now, right? How far you have come. Some of us are planners, and our mind is always so deep into the future, we forget I am guilty, I am guilty, I am guilty. I'm so far in the future that sometimes I forget to be present. And I have to remember, I'm right here with my kids right now. I'm right here with my husband right now. What am I doing today? What is my problem today? How do I feel today? Right? And these are real questions that you can ask yourself out loud when you feel yourself disassociating and you feel like, okay, I'm not really present, something's happening. How do I feel right now? If it's nothing, we need to figure out why we feel nothing. Why am I feeling nothing? Is nothing not happening? Am I driving? Am I with my kids? How do me looking at my kids? Look at your kids. Connect to that feeling of watching your kids play on the floor. Have that piece of emotion to say because most people that make them feel happy. You feel at peace, right? Connect with that. Watch them play. Watch them watch TV. Watch them just in their own environment. I like to watch my kids a lot because my kids really bring me back and make me be present in life. Just watching them brings me back. Sometimes that's what you need, right? But remember where you are right now. How are we feeling today? Where's my mental state today? What's happened to me today? What's something, one thing that's good that happened today? What's one thing that's good about the moment I'm in right this second? It might be a moment that you just sitting still. That's a good thing that's happening, right? Nothing's wrong with stillness. Another thing that a lot of us tend to disassociate because we do not allow ourselves to acknowledge our feelings. We don't let ourselves feel anything. We shut our feelings down before they even have a chance to appear. We automatically tell ourselves we don't care. We automatically tell ourselves we're not going to cry over this. We automatically tell ourselves we're being too sensitive. We automatically dismiss our emotions. You cannot do that. Do not dismiss your emotions. Allow yourself to feel. Acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge how you're feeling. Acknowledge how something made you feel. Acknowledge how somebody made you feel. Acknowledge what you have gone through. If you're trying to heal childhood trauma, let your heart break for the little girl that went through all that, experienced all that pain and heartache. It's okay. It's a part of the process. If you, it's okay to feel other feelings other than happiness. And we tend to shut down any feeling that is not happiness to the point to where we actually stop feeling happiness too. Because the thing is, with shutting down your feelings, you don't, even though you think you get to choose what emotions you feel and you don't, ultimately you start to take all of that away. You don't get to choose what feelings that you actually feel and you don't feel. You're going to take all of them away to where that's where the numb feeling comes. I don't feel anything about anything. That's unhealthy. That is a big sign that you are disassociated. Allow yourself to feel. Have a quote. Say an affirmation. And I'm not talking about the online affirmations that everybody is getting and passing around 50, 11,000 times. Write your own affirmation about your own life, about your own feelings. How do you feel about yourself? Write an affirmation that only you will understand about you. We have to stop thinking that affirmations are one size fit all, and because you shared this cute affirmation that somebody, your favorite celebrity, shared on social media today on Instagram and TikTok, that's going to do something for you. Write your own affirmation. That is going to help you come back and acknowledge your own feelings. If you are having a hard week, write an affirmation to yourself. If you are struggling with confidence, I'm a bad to this week, right? I will be happy this week. I am happy this week. I am deserving. I am loved. I am worthy. It's not okay right now, but I will get through it. That's an affirmation because only you know you're not okay right now and what you got to get through. I cried today so I can live tomorrow. Like, find an affirmation that literally connects with you, even if you have to make your own. I prefer y'all to make your own. Matter of fact, if you make your own for affirmation, if make your own affirmation and drop it in the comments. If you'd have made it this far, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you click that like button. Um, um, all of this helps you, especially with social media. We want to be able to also identify the things that are triggering us. What is triggering? When are you finding yourself disassociating? Are you around certain people? Are you in certain environments? Is it your job? You find like after you get off from work, you just have a hard time reconnecting back into life with your kids when you go home. Like, where are you starting to disassociate? Get a journal, write it down. That's why it's important to ask yourself, how am I feeling today? How did I feel this morning? How am I feeling before I go to bed? So that way you can start pinpointing and going back and have actual data on when did you start to disassociate through this day? What day did you start disassociating and what was happening that day, right? That's what you want to make sure of. Like, be able to start learning how to how to identify those triggers so that you could do a better job of not disassociating, because maybe that environment, something about that environment is not safe for you. Maybe it's time for you to do a job change. Maybe it's time for you to find a different friend circle. Maybe it's time for you to leave that relationship. Maybe it's time for you to create better boundaries. Why are you disassociating? We need to identify those triggers. Get a journal, write down all your habits and behaviors, and keep track so that you can identify that. Talk to somebody, talk to a friend, get a therapist. Therapy only works if you do. You cannot get in therapy and blame everybody for your problems. We have to make sure that we're making healing about us. Yes, it's about what people have done to us. Yes, it's about the trauma you may have experienced. It could just be, and everybody's trauma looks different. Trauma does not have to be, again, a hardcore thing of like something really horrible has to happen to you. Trauma could be that some people are traumatized from their first heartbreak. We all cope with things differently, and that's okay. But if you're gonna go get a therapist, make sure you're taking it to get the tools to help you deal with it and move past it, and not using it as a dumping tool. Right? Prioritize yourself. Get sleep. Some of us are sleep deprived and we dissociating because we actually need rest. We taking naps throughout life, and you need to get a good 8 to 10 hours sleep. Okay. Set boundaries. A lot of us disassociate because we don't have no boundaries with our family, with our friends, with our jobs, with our kids. Set boundaries. Take care of yourself. Take a rest day. I'm not doing it today. I'm not cooking. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not doing it. Don't ask me. It is okay to have a rest day. Okay, get some sleep. Set boundaries. Go touch grass. Like I said, go outside and really touch the grass. Smell the air. Touch the grass. Go hug a tree. And set time to be present. Start saying, this 5-10 minutes out of my day, I'm going to make sure I'm present. And that's when you do the 5-4-3-2-1 method. Or you play I Spy with yourself. Or if you're with your kids, play it with your kids or play it with your spouse. Those are little things that can help you stay present. Set 5 to 10 minutes every day to say, I'm making sure that I'm present, and document that. Understand that what you can't see, you can't control. Understand what you can control and what you can't control. If you don't know you're disassociating, you lose your will to be able to control it and to stop doing it and to be present. We have to also understand we can't control everything around us. That's the part of the stress. We all stressed out sometimes, and it's about things that we have no control over, and you just got to learn how to let go, let God, and walk by faith and not by sight. Focus on what the things that you actually can control, and be able to identify the things that you can't, and when you're being triggered. Okay, identifying your triggers is very, very important in disassociating. And remember that life is an experience. We should be living, right? Like, we should be living, we should be feeling. We should be acknowledging every part of life, the good, the bad, the happy, the ups and downs, the love, the resentment, the madness. Every emotion that you have, you should be acknowledging it, because that is a part of living life. That's a part of being alive. We feel. Make sure that you are living life. It's an experience. And I think that's it, y'all. Don't allow yourself to lose touch of your reality. It's yours. Okay? I hope you guys were able to get a little bit of insight into this. I hope this was able to help you or to help a friend. That's all I have. If you are disassociating, Drop which method that you're going to try to use this week to be present, right? I would love to hear that in the comments. But in the meantime and in between time, I thank y'all for being here. If you got this far, please like and share this episode with a friend if it was helpful for you or you think it'll be helpful for somebody else. And yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all I got. In the meantime, in between time, remember that you are the key to unlocking your reality and your dreams. Hunt life, live dreams. See y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.